Hello. So we still got a few minutes left before we'll get started. Um, but let's see if I can get a better angle going.
Yo. Hey.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good, good.
How are you?
Not too shabby.
Trying to see where I should put this. I just went for a little pre-yoga jog.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing these classes for let's see, this class for Prima, and then I'm going to start two more next week, and then I'm doing like six classes for CSUN, and then
Oh my god.
six classes for row house too.
Nice.
Yeah, so and even though it's nice, it's weird though because I still don't have a lot to do during the day, but then um just having the classes at random times is nice because it gives me a little bit of structure,
No,
like just framing the day.
absolutely. I only have 3 classes that I'm doing a week, and I feel the same. Gives me stuff.
Mm.
But I'm still working 3 days a week at Cats.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you were still working.
Yeah, I'm still working 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Nice.
It's such a weird schedule. Every day feels like Monday, but then it also feels like Friday, and then
Mhm.
every other day feels like Sunday.
Oh man, we're gonna have a blast once everything gets back to normal,
I
whatever normal is gonna look like.
I know. But yeah, I'm really enjoying doing the online classes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I had been wanting to do for a while,
Same.
and it's fun to see now, like because everybody's closed, everybody's online too, so you get
Yeah.
to you get to take some classes from people that you normally wouldn't be able to, and yeah, I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. And I've actually never done group training before. Like I've never done that. So it's been cool. Whew.
All right, let's see what we have here.
I wish you could join one of my classes. Literally, your schedule conflicts with all of my classes.
Yeah, I noticed that with the exception of like the first one, and I wasn't supposed to have a meeting, but then I did.
Uh, well, I'm considering adding more if because I had 30 people yesterday in
Oh
one.
wow, nice.
Yeah, it was huge. I was like, maybe I should make more time. I don't know
If you have it.
because I have this.
Uh,
So
let's see. So it's almost time to get started. So for both of you, I think there's one more person signed up, so we'll see if she shows up. But um, this is restorative class, so we're not going to be moving around a lot. All the movements or all the poses we're going to be holding for around 4 or 5 minutes. Um, but if you have anything that you use to get comfortable, like I have like a little pillow for my knees when we are because we're going to take a child's pose. So if you have a blanket or a pillow, anything that you want to use, yeah, perfect. All right. And then we are going to get started in Shavasana. So as we come down onto our back, you can take the legs however feels best in your body. So I'm going to take mine out long with the arms out by my side. And then we let the eyes close, just getting comfy. If there's any adjustments that you want to take to get more comfortable, go ahead and find that. And then we let the eyes gently close, letting our bodies settle into stillness. And then using these first few moments to just kind of become acquainted with our space. So beginning to notice what sounds, smells, and temperature we notice. The purpose of the restorative class is to give ourselves an opportunity to relax our bodies, which is funny because we think, oh, well, I'm at home so much, I'm relaxing. Well, we're taking an opportunity to actively relax, to give our bodies a chance to settle into stillness and giving our minds an opportunity to just kind of catch up. Noticing all those places where the backside of our bodies are in contact with the mat, from the back of the heels all the way up to the back of the head. Feeling the clothes resting against the top side of our body. And then scanning our bodies from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet. Just noticing, what do we feel in our bodies? What do we feel in the muscles, in the joints? What do we feel in our heads, in our chest and belly? And then beginning to notice the breath without changing it, just noticing how fast or slow we're breathing right now, how deep or shallow, if those breaths are in the belly or in the chest, just really everything that we can notice about your breath right now. And from the breath, we begin to tune into the mind, noticing, does it feel like there's 100 thoughts happening all at once, or is it calm and quiet? And as we notice the volume of those thoughts, what's at the forefront of your mind right now? Acknowledging how we feel emotionally in this moment. And then as we bring our awareness back onto the breath, let's slowly begin to lengthen it, deepening the breath into the belly, feeling that rise and fall of the belly and chest. And then following the breath as it crosses the upper lip through the nostrils, noticing that slight chill of the air as it passes through the back of the mouth into the lung. And then noticing the warmth of the breath as it passes back out the same direction. If at any point we start to notice our minds drifting off, actively processing, thinking, doing, we gently encourage it back into the present moment, noticing the breath once again. The breath is ever changing, so it's a really good tool to help us root into being aware of what's happening in this moment. And slowly taking a nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. That'll be our cue throughout the practice that we're about to move into the next posture. So let's start to bend into the right knee, placing the sole of that foot onto the ground. We're gonna start to open that knee out to the right. So like we're in a reclined tree pose. If you'd like to place that pillow or towel underneath the knee, feel free to do so just to give a little support, because our goal here is never to go as far as we possibly can into any posture. Rather, it's to give ourselves a space to settle in, finding a sense of ease and softness in the body. And then once you found that, let the body rest in stillness as we again notice the breath. Slow, steady, deep belly breath. Noticing as we lay here in stillness, what are the thoughts passing through your mind right now? As though you're watching a film about this period of your life, what do you see happening in your head? Slowly taking a nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. Let's start to extend that right leg long. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left ankle. And then grab the right wrist with the left hand, reaching the arms overhead. We're going to start to lean the arms and legs over to the left, pressing your hips to the right, making a crescent shape with our bodies. Finding a slight lengthening on the right side of the torso. And still returning to that idea of watching our thoughts pass through our minds like clouds in the sky. Seeing each one, noticing their unique beauty, their shapes and sizes. Knowing that we can never fully hold on to it, so accepting the impermanent and letting it continue to float on, waiting for the next to pass by. Noticing the ribs on the right side as they expand and contract with each breath. And then once more, nice full inhalation and sighing it out of the mouth. As we bring our bodies back into center, we'll uncross the ankles, taking our tree on the other side. So bending into the left knee, letting it fall out to the left. The sole of that left foot is on the inner right thigh. And place those hands where it feels best in your body. You can have them down by your sides like an inverted V. You can place them on your belly and chest. Again, the only important factor to remember is to place them where it feels good in your body. Feeling a softness and release of the inner left thigh. A relaxing of the shoulders and of the fingers. And as we watch those thoughts pass by, returning to the image of cloud, we know that as we watch the clouds float by in the sky, sometimes they're wispy, sometimes they're voluminous and white, but sometimes they're gray and dark. So if we notice those storm clouds of our thoughts passing through, instead of trying to force them away, instead of trying to bury them deep, we acknowledge the fact that that's resting inside of our mind. Acknowledging it, giving a little head nod, just noticing, saying, I see you. But again, we let the mind continue to float on. Taking a nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. Let's start to extend that left leg long, crossing the left ankle over the right. And as we reach the arms overhead, grab the left wrist with the right hand. Reaching out long, and then start to lean over to the right, pressing your hips to the left. Finding a gentle opening on the left side of the body. As we spend this final minute here, again, notice those left ribs expand and contract with each breath. We don't have to overemphasize the movement, just bring the awareness to that part of our body. And slowly inhaling deeply through the nose and releasing it out of the mouth. We'll come back into center. Let's bring the knees into the chest for a moment. If you like, you can gently rock from side to side. But then we'll roll onto one side, pressing ourselves up for just a moment, making our way towards our child's pose. So we'll take the knees wide, bring the big toes to touch behind us. And then sitting the hips back towards the heels, extending the arms out long in front. You can modify this however you need to. If the hips don't rest comfortably on the heels, then take them where it does feel good. And then once you've found your variation of our child's pose, begin to find softness, finding a release of the hips as we relax the shoulders and the jaw. Noticing that belly as it fills and empties. And as we bring the awareness back into the mind, as though you're a fly on the wall watching the events of your thoughts unfold, watching the stories of your subconscious mind. We start to bring a specific awareness to what we see in these frames. So as though you could hit pause or slow motion. What are all the colors and textures, the shapes and sizes of the people, the objects in our thoughts? Gently bringing in your awareness back into the mind, continuing to stay focused on the things that you can see in these thoughts passing through your mind. One more nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. And let's start to walk the hands in slightly. We're coming into a thread the needle pose. So we're going to take this right arm and slide it under the left, bringing the right shoulder down onto the ground. You have the option of either keeping your hips back on the heels as we do this shoulder opening, or you can let the knees come in and stack the hips on top of the knees, taking the same posture. It's up to you where you place the left arm. And then once you've found your variation of the posture, I want you to bring the awareness now onto the sounds. In your thoughts, what do you hear? Are there voices of other people? Are there animals, cars, traffic? What do you see? And what do you hear in your seeing? And taking a nice deep inhalation and sighing it out of the mouth. Let's start to press up to all fours once again. We're going to take that on the other side. So sliding the left hand or the left arm under the right, lowering that left shoulder down. And again, place the right hand where it feels best in your body. Asking ourselves, is there anything else that we can soften here in this posture? And then once we found that sense of ease, that sense of relief, we return back to the sounds of your thoughts. Whose voices do we hear in these thoughts? Are there any familiar sounds? Are there any unfamiliar sounds? And then slowly inhaling deeply in the nose and releasing out of the mouth. Beginning to press ourselves up to all fours. You can wiggle the hips around if that feels good. Maybe take a couple rounds of cat and cow pose if that's what your body says it needs. But whenever you finish taking the movements that feel good for your body, let's come down onto our backs once again. And as we come down onto our backs, we'll bend into the knees, bring the soles of the feet onto the ground. If you have that pillow, let's place it between the knees. I'm going to scoot my hips over to the left side of my mat and then let the knees fall to the right, finding a reclined twist. You can either have the arms out long or feel free to rest the right hand gently on the left knee. Just wherever makes the most sense in your body. You don't have to overcomplicate it. We don't have to overthink it. Just doing what instinctually feels good. And relaxing the inner thighs and our glutes. Softening the hands and the shoulders. And as we bring our awareness back into the thoughts passing through the mind, this time we allow the awareness to shift towards smell and taste. The two are inextricably linked. So as these thoughts pass through our minds, can we point out any specific smells or tastes? The smell of cologne or perfume, of grass moist with morning dew, is what we smell pleasant or malodorous? Some of our strongest memories are associated with the smell and taste senses. So if you find your thoughts hopping around a little bit more frequently, let yourself tune into one specific scene, explore it. Inhaling deeply through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. And let's carefully bring those knees back into center. This time we're going to scoot our hips over to the right side of your mat and let the knees fall to the left. And adjust the hips forward or back, the knees up or down. Whatever movements and micro movements we need to let this feel better than any other reclined twist we've ever taken. And that sense of releasing, and that sense of unwinding by winding. And then once you have it and we settle into stillness, surrendering the body into the posture, we tune back in to the smells and the taste. Are there any specific tastes that we find in our images? The bitter, sour, sweet, savory. Can you imagine feeling that on your tongue? Can we imagine actually inhaling the smell, filling that air as it passes through the nostrils? Taking one more nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. Bringing the knees back in. As we move that pillow off to the sides, we'll bring the legs all the way in together and then let the knees fall wide with the soles of the feet together for our bound angle pose. Placing the hands wherever you like, either on the thighs, the belly and chest, or have them out by our sides once again.
And again, we soften the inner thighs. We relax the shoulders and the jaw. And as we move into the thoughts, into the mind, what physical sensations arise in these thoughts? If we're walking in our minds, can we feel the ground beneath us? If we're making contact with other people, can we feel that touch of skin to skin? Do we feel the breeze brushing against us? The warmth or coolness of the air? What do you feel? Taking a nice deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. Go ahead and extend the legs out long, coming into our Shavasana once again. Using any props however you like. And as the legs go long and wide, the arms go down by our sides. We once again find that sense of heaviness in our bodies. Starting by relaxing each and every toe, the soles of the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the lower leg. Letting go of any effort we're holding in the thighs, in and around the hips. Noticing a softness of the lower middle, and upper back. The gentle rise and fall of the belly. As we relax all the fingers on the hands, the palms and the wrists. Letting that sense of softness travel up the forearm and the upper arm. The shoulders are heavy. The neck is soft as we relax the throat, relaxing the jaw. And smoothing out the wrinkles across the bridge of the nose, between the eyebrows and across the forehead. Noticing that release turn into a sense of lightness in our bodies. As we bring the awareness just underneath the nose, watching each breath as it slowly and gently enters and exits the body. And as we continue to lay here in stillness, start to tune in and notice, how do you feel in this moment? How does your body feel? How are you feeling mentally? And how are you feeling emotionally? And slowly start to take a deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. We'll start to bring movement back into the fingers and toes, circling through the wrists and the ankles. And on your inhale, reach the arms and legs nice and long. Exhaling the knees into the chest, rolling onto your right side, pausing in fetal position. Taking just a moment to give yourself a compliment on something. Whether it's something that you feel was a job well done, or something that you feel less than confident about. Whatever it is, give yourself some words of kindness. And then as you're ready, slowly press up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. And as we sit up nice and tall, bring the hands to the center of the chest. And one last time, nice deep inhale. And sigh it out of the mouth. Awesome. Thanks for practicing with me. You are the lone survivor. Are we? There we go. I muted you before I can hear you.
Good night.
Good night. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Thank you.
Come on.